welcome to our second episode on Consistently Weird, a podcast created by Matosinhos.Tech that is considered by many the coolest and probably the weirdest tech communities here in Portugal. I am Matilde Arjiz, I'm 22 years old, I work as a process engineer at a robotics company here in Porto, and I've started this professional world for about 2 years now. And the truth is that since day one, I have so many questions. How does someone come from an internship to being a CEO? And how do people work like 8 hours a day, every day? All of these questions lead to this podcast. And today we have here Alex Kirkpatrick.
Hello.
It is a pleasure to have you here. I will do a quick introduction about Alex in my tiny book. He's at the moment a managing partner at Insight.
Correct.
He was born in London.
Croydon.
Croydon. And he's been over 20 years helping business grow.
Yeah.
It is a pleasure to have you here. And I would like you to first start introducing yourself. Who is Alex? And you can explore into a personal and a professional way, the way that you want.
So, big question. Who am I? I'm Alex Kirkpatrick. I am 51, so I'm a bit older than you. Probably the thing that defines me most is I have 4 sons who range from 25 years old to 4 years old. So, I love being a dad. I've been the co-partner and MD of a B2B growth business since 2004. Which is quite a long time, and lots changed in that time. Before I went into marketing, I did a degree in fine art and specifically printmaking. So I moved to Portugal, in Porto. My wife is half Portuguese, so we moved here in July 23.
Okay.
E estou a aprender a língua, mas não falo muito bem português.
That is super cool. It talks really good. You talk about you did a degree in fine art.
Yes.
But then your job was sales and marketing.
Yes.
That is, for me, that is so interesting, and I have so many questions. And the first one is, when you ended that degree, why did you decide to move and change?
So I chose, you don't make many choices in your life,
Okay.
really. It's very rare that you make a conscious decision to do something. You normally just end up where you are. Okay. I mean, certainly in my generation, maybe your generation, you're actively looking in the mirror every day like Steve Jobs and thinking, am I happy?
I feel that.
In my generation, you just get on with it. Okay. So I did an art degree because I was good at art at school. And I got to the end of the degree, and the head of the school, a guy called David Haste, stood up. It was the first lecture he gave in 3 years. And he said, if you're going to be an artist and just sit in a cave and make art and not market yourself, not express yourself, not sell your art, you might as well be a tiger as an artist. And I had an epiphany in that moment, which was, hold on, if this is just about selling something, there are easier things to sell than your own art, which is always emotionally difficult.
Okay, that is so
So
cool.
I decided to not be an artist at the very last day of the course.
And what was your first job? And how did you found it?
My first job, I was 13, and
13?
13, yeah.
Okay.
And so I went to boarding school, and in the summer, I'd come home to a seaside town. This would have been 1989. There wasn't a lot of money in seaside towns in 1989, so I either sat at home or I went out and worked, and I was bored at home because all my friends came from around the country because I went to boarding school. So I washed up. I was a kitchen porter. It's called a KP. And I worked on Hastings Pier, and I washed dishes.
For the entire summer?
Yeah, for the summer. I was paid...
As a 13-year-old boy?
As a 30-year-old boy, and I was paid, I think, £1.50 per hour.
That's crazy.
It was good, but I met a lot of people. I met this fascinating Polish guy, and amazing people.
That is so cool. And what was your first job after your degree in arts?
Wow. So after my art degree, I taught myself graphic design. So I taught these were.
Oh, you taught yourself?
Yeah. So
How?
you just.
With books?
Yeah, maybe, but yeah. So the first thing I did was teach myself how to type. So you won't remember, but there was an Apple typing application called Mavis Beacon,
Okay.
and you teach. So I taught myself how to type. Once I taught myself how to type, then I learnt Fireworks and Dreamweaver and Flash. So these are the three main applications for creating websites.
Okay.
And then I learned Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator and something called Quark Express, which doesn't exist anymore, which is the best desktop publishing. And then I did freelance graphic design.
Ah, okay.
But that would have
so
been.
you taught yourself everything,
Yeah.
and then you launched yourself into the market.
Then I started winning clients and getting work. And so, yeah, like, you need to be able to win clients. If you can't win business, if you can't sell, it's.
That's crazy that you are saying that, because on your LinkedIn, I read something that you said that was, you once realized that you were better at winning work than doing it.
Exactly, yeah, that's.
And that is so cool, because I kind of feel the same in a way that I'm good at seeing the problems and finding the solutions, but when it comes to develop the solutions, I spend so much time. I'm not even sure if that is. But how did you feel about that?
You have to recognize what you're good at. So I had a son, my first son, when I was 25. So I had to get a proper job. When you freelance, you feast and famine, which means 1 month you might make £10,000.
Yeah.
So you times that by 12, you're doing so well, then you might not get any work for 6 months. So then you divide that by half and you're not doing so well. So my first son was born when I was 25 and I thought I need to get a proper job. So I applied for 6 sales jobs and 6 design jobs, and I got all the sales jobs. And sometimes you have to listen to the universe. And
Not that way, Alex.
So I thought, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing design, and maybe I should be doing sales. So I worked with a startup, which was. It was an interesting time. So this would have been 99, 2000, and it was a well-funded startup by a guy who was ex-Goldman's. He was an analyst, and his name was Dr. Alfred Cheng. And he'd already pivoted, so he'd created what would eventually become Alibaba, but not him, someone else. He had the vision. It was called Hexia, and he understood that there was a place for a global marketplace. But that had failed, and he still had money, but he was burning it. So I came in when he was marketing something called Hack Disk, which was a business card CD.
Okay.
So in 2000, people would have business cards and they would give each other a CD. And that CD would have a flash presentation about the business.
Really?
It's amazing, yeah. And you'd give these out and go, hey, nice to meet you, here's my business card CD. The problem was, and no one realized this at the time, is they functioned like a propeller. So when you put them in the CD drive, it's like an aeroplane. So it creates massive uplift because it's this shape instead of round. And what they didn't realize is that it unbalances and destroys the CD drive in your computer.
Oh my God, okay.
So you had to.
But you could sell.
It was me. So originally I was the print designer, and then we were running out of money. So they fired the digital designer, and I taught myself. That's why, so then they replaced the digital designer.
Crazy.
So I was print and digital. Then the sales guy, they fired the sales guy. So then I was the sales guy and the print designer and the digital designer. It was me and this guy. He was a very wealthy guy, Dr. Alfred Cheng. And then one day he phoned me and went, Alex, dude, we haven't got any more money. It's like everyone else has been fired. You've done all the other jobs. We need to, I'm sorry. And I went, no worries, it's cool. And so, yeah. But that was in 2000, right? So I trained myself to be a print designer, then a digital designer, and then a salesperson, because you need to flex. You need to be able to do everything.
That's so crazy. I would love to feel that way, but I feel that when you are talking about that, it feels that you are not afraid to jump over those type of things.
Yeah.
I feel that at least nowadays, it feels like I need to know a lot about something to be able to sell myself. And in that perspective, as you are in the area of marketing and sales, you are also constantly selling yourself. What are the characteristics that you found yourself being good at in this area?
In terms of making a connection and selling to other people, hypersensitivity to other people.
Okay.
But this was difficult when I was a kid. So when I was a kid, I used to mirror and emulate other people. Like I'd literally copy their behaviors. So they'd become my best friend for a week. And then they'd be like, hold on, I thought we were best friends, but actually we're not the same at all. You're quite different. And so that was difficult when I was young. But when you're older, you have, I don't know how to explain it. So when I sit in a meeting, I'll be in a meeting, and there'll be us and the prospect or the client. And my colleague will be speaking, and the client will make some gesture that they want to talk or they want to be heard. And my colleague will miss it. And I'll say, just, can we stop for a second? Because I think John had a point. John, do you want to make your point?
Okay, and pay attention to... It's
a hypersensitivity to what people say, but also unspoken cues about how they behave and think. And it's just really being very aware of what other people want. So if I'm good at anything, I think I'm probably good at that.
That's cool. I heard something that is, on sales, you have to build a relationship with your client. But that takes a long time, I believe. So what is the relationship between creating a relationship, but at the same time selling?
Being honest.
Okay.
Be honest.
Okay.
Be honest. You know, you're not... And it's interesting because I know we had a brief conversation, didn't we, about your profile on TikTok and the fact that you exist in quite a specialist space. That's legitimate, it's real.
Okay.
You know, so if you think about the conversations you're having through that channel with people who might be very technical people, very senior people, but they're engaging with what you're doing because it's real and it's the same. You know, if your content felt fake or felt like it was driving to sell, then people wouldn't watch it. And it's the same way. When you come into a room, human beings are incredibly sophisticated. I mean, we talk about AI, forget about it. Human beings, 2 seconds, Gladwell wrote blink, it's intuition. You feel it. You feel it. Before, 2 seconds after you meet someone, you can feel it. And the only way, you can't fake that. Okay. And like you wouldn't put stuff on your own channel. In the same way, when you enter in a room, you've got to be open.
Yeah.
I once went to a sales meeting with 2 guys, this was years ago, and they were media guys. So media guys, I don't know if you know, but media's fine. There's a lot of cocaine in media. Anyway, we were in the car, and we were meeting this super senior guy from Lloyds Bank, which is one of the big 4 banks in the UK. And they were like, Cookie, we're going to the meeting! And I'm like, what's going on? And they put on like really aggressive music. We're going to get ready for the meeting! And I'm like, what the fuck's happening? Like, we're going to smash this meeting! And I'm like, okay. And I go and I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Nigel. Yeah, I'm Alex. I don't know what the fuck these guys are doing. It's like, you have to match the energy.
Okay,
it's insane. Yeah. Imagine if someone came to your house for dinner, right? And they're like, hi, Matilde! You're like, what the fuck, dude? I'm like, what? So yeah, just be a normal human.
Okay.
That's the answer to selling.
That is so cool.
Be a normal human.
And how do you I'm getting too specific, I only have only more question, but I'm being honest with someone, and how do you know that the solution that you have is good for that client, but he does not know it yet. Yeah. How do you work on that conversation? Because you're being honest, but at the same time you're trying to convince someone, if that makes sense.
There's a lot of, so there's a lot of psychology and COD psychology in sales.
It's not an specific...
No, but so there are 2 basic human motivational drivers, yeah? We're driven broadly towards a positive outcome or away from a negative outcome. Okay. And so I got obsessed with NLP a long time ago. Neuro-linguistic programming, so this is Bandler, and I did a lot of courses, and I was a business practitioner in NLP. It's sort of hokum,
Okay.
It's kind of, the whole, you can use words to influence how people think and feel. But the one thing that is relevant is it makes you sensitive to other people's modalities, so people think and feel differently to you. So instead of going, come on, okay, you're like, you need to create a quiet space so you can hear. So, in terms of the drivers, and you're getting someone from I'm not interested, I'm interested, broadly you'd need to understand, are they motivated towards a benefit or away from a negative? What's their primary motivation individually? And then you kind of want to tell that story, and then there's a bit of, if you identify that driver, then you sort of want to go, okay, I get it, I understand how you're motivated, and then you want to create a narrative that allows them to experience that historically. So you go, okay, so do you remember that time that this happened that you didn't do that, or you did do that?
It makes sense.
That was great, and this is what this is. So you're aligning your benefit to something they've already experienced that's aligned to their motivational driver.
Okay, cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. I read something, another thing that you write that it can help, it leads to this, that you wrote, different is hard to buy, sell why you are better.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Yeah.
this?
Sameness and difference. So too many businesses go, why are we unique? What's unique about us? And two points on this. One, if you are unique, right, completely unusual, you're a disruptor. Think about how much you have to do to educate your market, your potential buyer. So you're like, we're doing something that's so different, no one knows what it is, right? That takes a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's better to be the same as, but better than it is to be unique. So you might go, and one of the ways to do that is signposting. So for example, you might go, hey, Intel, they do this? Well, we're like Intel, but we're 20% better.
Okay.
So you're trying to help your buyer understand quickly how good you are. So you want to tie your capability to a known property, and that will be whatever your space is. Obviously it won't always be Intel. If you're in a specialist market, it might be someone specialist. But you want to go, okay, all that brand equity they've created in educating you, we're going to use that. So we're here already, we're the same as them, but we're 20% better, and let me tell you why.
That is super nice. That is
because otherwise you're not going to outspend them. In my business life, all of my clients they were either early and then competitors raised more money and outspent them, or they were late. But they're never if they're leading the market, they don't outsource sales. They don't need to, because they're leading the market, right? So I've always worked with people who either early, but then got outspent, late, or, they don't know how to sell. They're the three things. But yeah, I don't know if hopefully that answers.
No, it makes total sense, and it is cool to have that different perspective, because sometimes you feel that, we have something that is different from everyone, we will be outstanding, and sometimes
it's hard, I've worked with businesses that created unique propositions, and they're impossible to buy because you've got to match the internal structure of your client.
Yeah, true.
So you go, we've created this amazing new thing that goes across 6 departments and 7 budgets. You're like, okay, we have no idea how to buy that. So you've got to think about how your client is structured relative to what you're offering. So certainly when you're selling cold.
Cool. Another question. 20 years ago, I'm not sure.
20 years ago,
I'm not sure because I probably was not
you
even
were
born.
I was the same size but younger. So you.
I was 2 years old.
I was 31. Shit, I'm so old. I'm so old. Anyway, yes.
I feel that you needed a big budget to reach the people, to do marketing. Nowadays, you just need to install TikTok, say something.
Are we talking about B2B or are we talking about consumer brand building?
Okay.
You mean
consumer.
Business to business or consumer?
I could say consumer, probably.
Fine.
Like, I'm a business and I'm selling to a consumer.
Fine. So, 20 years ago, when was that? 2006.
Yeah, probably. No, it was not probably.
It was definitely. What was I doing in 2006? I don't know. Probably exactly what I'm doing today. Was the budget different?
No, more
Well, think about it. You've got to think about it. So we set the company up in 2002. So you're hitting things like social media's impacting, Facebook's impacting, YouTube. I mean, YouTube is what, 2004? So it's the advent of social media. So what happened 20 years ago was it suddenly became more important, and that's happening again right now, by the way, with AI.
Okay.
So you can see these shifts, right? So what happens is, if you're going to serve a market, your market expertise is critical. But then a disruptive event will happen. For example, social media, 2006 to whenever, and suddenly your knowledge of that new disruptive thing becomes more important than your knowledge of your market. So 2008, I'm marketing a business, doing lead generation, specializes in financial services. I work with every bank, work with every insurance company. We can't buy a lead. We can't get a lead for nothing. Meanwhile, I've got this Facebook agency that's done the sum total of nothing in financial services. Every single bank wants to meet them because it's hot. Because suddenly it becomes more important to understand what's disrupting than it is to understand the market.
Okay.
But that's the light bulb flash that only lasts so long, and it doesn't always convert to revenue because there's a big difference between a client that's self-educating and a client that's buying.
Okay.
So when you chase trend and you chase disruption and innovation, you get a lot of noise, but that doesn't mean you close. And you've got to be aware of that. Because clients will talk to people to educate themselves, but that doesn't mean they're buying it. They often will revert back to their network and their trusted partners, and they'll go, oh, I found all about this stuff. And they'll go, we'll do that, we can do that. And then you think you're creating an opportunity, but you're just educating the client.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because on this question, one of the things that I also want to understand more about your opinion is if you feel that marketing nowadays has become better, with better opportunities, or just louder?
I mean, good question. So I work in B2B, right? Okay. So business, and we were really early on email. So
on email?
Email, yeah, we were early. So pre-email, you're doing trade shows, you're doing telemarketing, you're doing direct marketing, you're doing, literally you're mailing people stuff and phoning them up, going, did you get my postcard? Like, no. and suddenly email clicks in. So 2004, we were early on email. And when you email 1,000 people in 2004, 800 people reply.
Really?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah, they like go, oh my God. And you've like emailed a janitor, you've emailed a teacher, they go, oh, I'm so sorry. You seem to have accidentally emailed me. And you're like, shit. Because you're all over the place and you're using systems. So back then, so the conceit of email marketing and business to business is, and this is true now with Claude and personalization, is this is just for you. I'm just contacting you today. And I'm doing that to 1,000 people, right? But it's a bit like, as a species, human beings get wise. So like if you watch TV from the 90s, you're like, this is all bullshit. It's clearly there's a producer, they've written a script, none of this is real. So if I watch Top Gear now, I can't watch Top Gear, I love Top Gear. I can't watch Top Gear because I'm like, oh, this is clearly orchestrated. But back then, I was like, oh my God, he set the caravan on fire. Who saw that coming? Well, the guy who wrote the script.
Yeah, that is so interesting.
So with email, it was like, if you wrote, our real insight was drop all the marketing collateral, write it like a human. Okay. So we were doing text-only emails in like 2004 when everyone else was doing marketing content.
Okay.
And you'd literally shoot someone and go, hey, like, hey, Claire, how you doing? Hey, Matilde, how you doing? I want to, hey, Nelson, how you doing? Listen, man, do you want to do this? And they'd be like, oh, dude, that's so great to hear. Do we know each other? I'm like, yeah, maybe we met at a wedding.
Maybe we met at a wedding.
You'd get like 800 replies. Didn't mean you got more leads.
Okay.
You wouldn't get more leads because they're not buying. They're either buying it or not buying it, right? But they're not. Doesn't mean they're buying it. But what you got was an enormous amount of people going, oh, thanks so much for emailing me. I'm so grateful. Anyway, I'm actually a janitor. I'm not the marketing director of Coca-Cola.
I don't even care.
Your data's for shit, but maybe I can help you somehow connect the marketing director of Coca-Cola. So that was a huge cultural shift. And what happens is you still get leads by email, right? You still get leads by email. But it's like, geez, I get so many of these fucking emails. But actually, you know what? This one actually caught my interest. Let's talk. So the conceit that functioned for about 5 years, which was, oh, you sent me a personal email. I feel personally indebted to you. I should reply to you. Doesn't exist. So people know what they're getting. So has marketing had to get better, is your question? Yeah, and it will have to get better more. And now it's not about, the first barrier to engagement was the human filter. Like, is this for me?
Okay.
The second barrier to engagement is 365's in the cloud. You know, you've got to remember, an Exchange server used to have an individual relationship with an email.
Yeah.
As soon as they go in the cloud, let's say I send an email to the 4 of us, and then 3 of you guys go, yes, it's spam. It won't inbox anything else. So email's stopping working. Apple just launched an update which normalizes call announcement.
Okay.
Right? What, do you know how big that is?
Yeah, I imagine.
I mean, that's going to fuck telemarketing.
Okay.
It's going to fuck it. I mean, telemarketing is sort of where B2B lead generation exists now, because you can get good mobile data from places like Lusher or Full and Rich. So you're getting cut through on mobile, you know? And it's fine. People, that's okay. Yeah?
Okay, yes.
But now they're getting call announcement because that was a general update with Apple. So now you're like, please explain why you want to call. We met at a wedding. Did we meet at a wedding? No, I'm trying to sell you something. So in answer to your question, what's happening with marketing? In B2B, and we talk about brand and demand, and what you're going to, we've been able to, because of email, because of, you know, really open Google Analytics and deep data, and then LinkedIn used to be much more open. You could just go, buy the server, just buy the software. You know, you could push it to people.
But now it's different.
Now it's all pull. And do you know where it exists? Where human beings like to behave, like TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you had a TikTok channel with a really niche audience, that would be worth a fortune. Because you can't make, the days of pushing B2B message, you have to be engaging. So will marketing be better? Yeah, it will have to be.
Okay.
B2B marketing will have to be better because you can't push it down people's throats. So you need to be entertaining. You need to be engaging. You need to be valuable.
Cool.
So if you owned a TikTok channel, that would be worth a fortune in this context.
That is super interesting.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on the right path. And talking about this, where does AI come into all of this? Are you using AI right now?
I mean, yeah. I literally had a 30-minute conversation with a gardener using AI the other day.
Really?
Yeah, because I just created an app because I'm a Gen Xer, so I use ChatGPT. But I should use Claude probably or something else. But anyway, I created an app, and I was like, can you help me reseed my lawn? So yeah, how do we use AI? I think in marketing, Jesus, I mean, okay, let's use an analogy, right? We're two human beings. We've just met, okay? Oh, I see you're wearing a purple shirt. Do you want to buy some marketing?
Some marketing?
Yeah, you're wearing a purple shirt. I noticed that. Do you want to buy some marketing?
Probably not.
What the fuck are we talking about? What the fuck? I mean, that's nothing to do. What? Hey, I see you're sitting on a brown sofa next to a blue thing and you're wearing a purple shirt. Do you want to buy some marketing? It's like, you fucking weirdo. That's AI. That's bad AI.
Yeah, that is so true.
So yeah, they're taking information that is at the top level in the public domain, and they're going, hey, I saw you've got black boots on. Do you want to buy some marketing? It's like, oh, fuck off. You know, so actually, you need to think about, if you're going to use AI, you need to, so the best AI I've seen, and it's all sequencing, right? It's like, how can you personalize? It's all about personalization at scale. So there was a platform, I know the founders, and they built, and when you talk to founders, it's more open-ended. So when you look at like Instantly or any of the big sequencing platforms, it's all, you can't fuck around. It's all fixed. It's all done. You know, you're using it as a customer. But when you speak to founders and they're earlier, you can go, hey, can we create this? And they'll go, yeah, sure, I'll give it to the dev team. Anyway, so their best case study was they worked for a massive, I probably shouldn't mention them, but they worked for a massive lens manufacturer whose name rhymes with Hemans. And basically, they downloaded Google Scholar, right, because it's all in the public domain. And they identified the names of the professors who were writing academic papers, and they read all the research, and then they wrote a campaign that went, hey, I just read your paper. on, Jesus, micro-blinking of the, our lens, number 726, would be perfect for it. Fantastic. It worked really, really well. But you need complexity.
Okay,
So for AI to work well in lead gen, you need three things. You need complexity and a lot of rich data on your target market. You need a lot of rich data on your offer, and you need a really simple, it's really weird. You need you sell one thing, because you can't do consultative alignment. So you basically go, we sell bananas. And then you go, people who are buying bananas.
Yeah,
and
you
then
have all the, okay.
Technical buyer.
Very complex to sell one simple thing.
Simple idea, technical complexity, technical product, alignment.
Cool.
If you have a complex offer that changes relative to the buyer, it's very difficult to use AI because that's a consultative selling process.
Cool. I have one last question for you.
Right.
And I'm finishing. But in 3 words, what would you say that are the values that you carry throughout this journey and that represent you as a professional?
Just cover that off after I've done the meaning of life and God. What are the 3 words?
I am like that. I cannot.
Thank you. Yes, 3 words that represent me and me. You're a long time dead. It's 5 words. You're a long time dead.
Okay.
So try and have some fun.
That is so cool.
And you know what? Don't judge anyone because everyone's got something interesting to say. And if you can help.
Cool. That is super, super cool. Okay, I think that we can end now our 2nd episode on Consistently Weird. I truly hope this conversation left you with something, a question or even a perspective. We are Matosinhos.Tech, and if you want to keep up with the things that we are doing, you can follow us on our social media. We are on LinkedIn, Instagram, and sometimes on TikTok a little bit.
And YouTube?
YouTube.
Alex, it was a pleasure being
Thank you.
with you. It was so cool to learn more about what you are doing right now. And that's it. You can stay consistently weird.